I'm not stupid. I mean, you might want to debate me about that, but
Nah, you guys are taking credit away from Norm. He's not like what you guys think he really is. I think Norm is. He's definitely a Zionist, so he would never vote for somebody like Mandami just because of the party that he's affiliated with.
Harry, before October 7th, Norman was the liberal cuck when it came to the Muzzies, and now he's like, we need to carpet bomb Gaza.
No, I've never said either. Both of those are incorrect.
Even before October 7th, Norm was a Zionist. Ever since I've known Norm,
he was a Zionist, but he was, that's so rude. I can't believe somebody would say that about the Muslims.
Yeah, I don't like to insult people based on their identity.
Yeah, Muslims are all disgusting. Shuki, are all Muslims disgusting?
A good Muslim is a dead Muslim.
Thank you. You talk the same way I do about Muslims as I do about Muslims and pit bulls.
I mean, I will take a pit bull way before I'm going to take a Muslim.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice to meet you, Shuki.
The pit bull's less likely to kill you. Then what, Shuki, what do we do with Glow then?
Why? Chloe is a Muslim?
Yeah, she is.
What the fuck are you talking about? Why would you degrade me like that?
Trust me, I know lefty dudes that are like, and this sounds funny as fuck that they say this. They're like, I love Israel, but I'm not a Zionist. Like, I laugh when I hear this shit, right? Like, how can you love Israel but not be a Zionist? Like, you know, so they don't understand what a Zionist means, you know?
So, well, Shuki and I have been around a minute, and we went through stuff like this before, like in the 70s, right? In fact, I'm just putting together now what I lived through. Number one, there was a UN resolution, I think it was in 72. It said Zionism equals racism. Now, this was when we were fighting the Soviet Union as well. They don't have a superpower on their side anymore like they did in the 70s. That's number one. Number two, then we had when we had the 1973, the Yom Kippur War, the Arabs did what do you call it, an oil boycott of us. The cartel stopped giving us oil, and we had an oil shock, and the prices went through the roof. We had a shortage. You had to wait online for hours to fill your car up with gas. You couldn't go on every day. If your license plate ended in an even number, you went on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If your license plate ended in an odd number, you went on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's how bad it was. So we've been through crazy stuff like this before, and we've come out of it stronger. We just need continuation of strong leadership. Also, Israel's economy, according to what I measured before, it quadrupled in the past 20 years. That's remarkable. So despite
thanks to Bibi, not thanks to the leftist motherfuckers that you support.
Yes. I don't support them. You know who I support is Scotty Taub, who was a leftist, and then he saw that the leftists were undermining the country and that they're undemocratic. So I'm a reasonable person.
But that's what happens around the world.
Yeah, but I think, look at Poland. Poland is going in a different direction, you know? And what's going to happen in England? The Labour government, the guy already said he was going to resign.
Poland is the smartest country in all of Europe.
Say again, Poland?
Yeah, Poland is the smartest country in all of Europe.
Poland is crushing it right now.
That's what I said.
And they're heavily armed. They have a great economy. They're willing to work. And listen,
Norman, you heard what the president said, right? He said, we built a fucking fence, and I instructed all my soldiers that if any of the Muslims try to come across the fence, to shoot them. Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I mean, I don't know what the hell happened to Western Europe. It's weird. Because it happened recently. It's in the past 10, 20 years.
The Muslims started showing up and raping everybody's daughters and implementing Sharia in their fucking towns.
But why? England used to be such a noble country.
Yeah, they used to be.
What happened to their
Cairo?
Cairo, but
It's right on the verge.
it's lost its mojo. That's for sure. They used to be great warriors, even in the '90s. I was in.
Shuki,
What
can you
happened?
explain?
I'm gonna tell
Tell
you
Norman.
exactly what happened.
Tell him.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened.
What
The
happened?
day that you took away the gun from a police officer, that's what happened.
When? That was a long time ago. I thought they never carried guns.
Yeah, I don't.
Of course they used to carry guns.
I don't think.
I don't think so. Just going to this Europe business, I truly think there's this clash of civilization here between the Islamists and the rest of Europe. And Poland, of course, is taking a kind of in the right direction in terms of its policies towards against immigration, particularly the Arab in general and Muslim specifically. So the thing is, what happened, in Europe, and it really saddened me to see a culture, particularly let's say England, a culture which is being nourished, by people like Isaac Newton, by Bertrand Russell, by Adam Smith, by Darwin, and that is the type of society and culture and richness and its contribution to the entire world that we're talking about is being eroded, and gradually, but certainly continuing, by this Islamic barbaric ideologies of 1,000 years ago. It is horrible. It's horrible. It's really, really bad. So I am hoping there is a way to return for these countries. I'm talking about specifically England and by extension Germany, other countries, France to some extent, to find their way back to preserving their cultures and their secular regimes. But right now
It's too late.
Yeah, it might be, but let's hope that people like places like Poland and also
The only way to make your hope come true is World War III. That's the only way. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get rid of them.
Right. Well, here's no. Let me think about it before we jump deep into World War II. For example, it seems to me there are going to be two types of movements. They're going to be happening almost simultaneously. One, what I call the bottom up, which is a native British individual says, I'm not going to take this anymore. We have seen recently lots of demonstration by young people, by British natives actually protesting and having fights or by doing certain things. So that movement is becoming more robust and more serious because people are recognizing, people, the native people, that really their culture, identity, and existence is at risk. Then on the top, we need some leaders with big balls who are going to say, no, we are not going to take this and introduce certain laws within their constitution. I mean, I know England doesn't have a constitution or we do, but within the secular laws, introducing some idea, some laws that is going to, at the minimum, prevent the propagation or increase in the Islamic ideology and radical Muslims and send them back. So I think
it's not going to happen until you kill them.
Well,
you need to understand one thing, Ali. If you have an injured animal in a corner, she's gonna commit suicide on you. The left, everywhere in the world, is that injured animal. And they will collide with
Shuki, you're in the matrix.
the dangerous and the scary part of it. And because it's gonna bring to a civil war, and it's not gonna look good. It's gonna happen in Israel, it's gonna happen in Europe, and let me tell you, it's gonna happen in America also.
Okay, when you say civil war in Israel, what are you talking about?
Between the left and the right.
Left and the right But you're not talking about between the Arab citizen, Arab
No,
citizen.
they are obviously going to join to the left.
Right. Okay. I mean, I'm not knowledgeable about this to have an opinion.
No, 100%, I understand. But they're going to join, the Arabs going to join to the left. And you're going to see that very soon.
You know, in some strange way, I see, and I can't quite tell you exactly why. Remember, I talked about this cultural clash, and specifically, we're talking about democratic, secular, culturally advanced countries against the Islamic ideology, Islamic politics, and Islamic, religious, rituals, and the rest of it. For some ways, I see Israel being actually in forefront of this battle. And but then again, I said, okay, is this really actually the case? Because you see the Abrahamic Accord and this collaboration, cooperation between Israel and the JCC countries and the rest of it, which is a good sign, by the way. But in some sense, we're talking about Israel taking a great, how can I say, opposition against the jihadists, the Islamic ideology. I wouldn't even call them radical. I mean, the ideology itself, inherently radical. Forget about the specific Muslims. So the impetus, what is germane to Muslims acting the way they do, is their own ideology, which is fuels, the way they act. And our land is, I don't have to educate anyone here on the stage. All one has to do to look at the list of the terrorist activities throughout the globe. Again, it's almost like a cliche saying this because we all know it, but it is good to remind people and talk about it, but specifically those baby blue-eyed Americans and Europeans that have no idea, no information, no knowledge about the, again, menacing Islamic ideology. Go ahead.
Ali, for me, only one thing works: common sense. Now, explain me one thing, and I'm not against the Abrahamic Accord, don't get me wrong, but I think that it's very limited, because if you try to bring the advance of Israel, the way that women are considered to equal in Israel, into the Arab world, how you see it happening when more than 52% of the Muslims supporting and accepting honor killing. How you think that that's going to work? It's very, very limited.
No, I agree with you. That's what I said. You see this economic, perhaps some political kind of a collaboration between Israel and the Arab countries. But I do not see this actually having any impact whatsoever in terms of the cultural practices in those countries. As a matter of fact, if anything, some of these countries, with some minor exception, they are going in the opposite direction of what we call modernization. And examples of course, Turkey, Indonesia, and I don't have to tell you anything about Yemen, Afghanistan, and Israel, and the rest of it. So I think you've got a point. I do not see a correlation between advancement of the culture and basic human rights in the countries in the Abrahamic Accord in a way that you're talking about. I think I agree with you. But economically, politically, that's a different. And I don't even think Israel.
But it's only because they cannot advance nothing. Israel supply them with everything, which I think that Israel is not so smart that she allowed them to have so much in the beginning, which I do understand. From the other hand, okay, we want to show off, but it's going to bite us in the ass at the end of the day.
So let me just ask, I think you were suggesting that the political and economic programs between Israel, and in this case we talk about the Abrahamic Accord, that is not going to impact the cultural landscape of the Muslim countries.
Correct.
I do agree with you on that, on basic human rights. I'm not. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. As a matter of fact, as I'm saying, it's actually becoming more radical. Hold on a second. You're mumbling here. I can't hear you. Hold on a second. I'd like to hear what you have to say, but you kind of, it looks like you're talking from the bottom of the well in here. So yeah, I do agree with you. As a matter of fact, the two things may not be even related. The cultural advancement, the basic human advancement in the countries in the Abrahamic Accord, and the political and economic agreement. It's already so remotely related.
Right, and it's
running circles inside my mind.
Colliding.
It's gonna be like that.
Dreaming of a free time.
You can shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up. Pull the dick out of your mouth if you want to talk, and if not, don't talk.
Yeah, Jula, you can talk after you remove those fake AI fucking photos from your picture. Mother chod, hot chod, uli, mother chod.
Motherfucker.
Uli, mother chod. Ban chod. Guys, you can.
You people are already fuck out.
Fucking Indian, fucking faggot with your fake AI photos. Yeah, your photos are fake, faggot. The photos are fake. Go look at the one where you're sitting in the fucking chair in front of the 3 million reflection.
Max, you know what? My shot up in your hand.
On the AI, you dumbass.
Motherfucker. Already motherfucker.
Living in the slums of fucking Delhi, you dirty fucking. Like a fucking god.
Hello, moderators. Moderators.
Do you want to ticket for
I just want to say there's great news out of Oh! I just hit the phone into my tooth. What I'm trying to say is there's great things happening. You hope I broke it? Let me confirm it's okay.
People already decided like Indians like Brent.
Sortinas hoga kute. Kute quiet. Kute tarimani boss panchot. Sortinas hoga kute. 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 Tarimani boss panchot. Sortinas hoga kute tarimani boss panchot. Kute. Kute. Mother chot. Soltinas hoga kutte, tarimani boss panchot. Soltinas hoga kutte, tarimani boss panchot.
Don't talk too much.
Ekute, 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 kute, kute, ekute, ekute. Kute, 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 daddy mas bali, daddy mani boss banjot. Ekute. Ooh, you finally muted up.
You sound like you're talking Coco's language.
Yeah, Coco, I got some advice for you. Read a book and just put a zipper on your lips. That'll serve you well for the rest of your life. Zip it up. And you too, J-U-U. I don't appreciate your use of the English letter system to make an ad hominem projection. Kute. Exactly. Mute up, Tarimani Bos Banchot. Sultinas Holga Kute.
Listen, you could. Will you put in the next time that you unmute yourself, I will give you a ticket to Shuki Airlines. Shut the fuck up.
Don't talk too much.
Shut the fuck up, because the next time that you unmute,
Too much, motherfucker.
there you go. Alamak and
Hey,
Kusema
motherfucker,
Kwara.
don't.
There you go, Rich.
He doesn't even move the audience. He kicks them out.
Of course he does. That's what he does. That's the whole point.
I know.
I gave 2 warnings. Muting 3 times. That's it. You want to do Ichikdana? In a different place, it can be Ichikdana.
You know, there's technically no difference between America. You know, the Indians deal with these issues in India, and Prime Minister Modi has been cracking down on their aggressive Islamization of India. Ali, I'm sure you can attest to the fact that India has cracked down on the Islamic political and, you know, structural, you know, development in India. Like, they've cracked down on that. And America faces the same challenge, but because of our religious freedom, they can build mega mosques in Texas cities and in Illinois, wherever. They're building them all over the place. And there are a lot of, I went to the park 10 minutes ago, and there's five women in burqas. There's another woman with another burqa down the street. And it's...
I'm sorry to interrupt. But I must ask a very, very quick question. Osama, do you want to use Shuki Airlines or you want to live on your own? Quick answer, because I'm counting down already.
Who are you talking to?
To Osama, Dr. Osama.
I don't see a Dr. Osama. Oh, I see Dr. Osama down there.
Osama, come up, faggot.
And he never comes up because he's fucking scared.
Alamak and Kusemem Makwarak.
Yeah, and yet you're asking a good question in terms of we have the Establishment Clause and the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting free exercise thereof. So that's out there at the first paragraph of the first line of the First Amendment. Yeah, it's a serious problem. How do you deal with this in terms of propagation and building all of these mosques all over the place? And on top of that, in the cities like in Dearborn, and I can assure you, pretty soon in some corners in New York City, you will find the call to the prayer at 5 o'clock in the morning, and some imam going on the top of the menorah or the top of the mosque using a PA system and screaming from the top of his head, 5 o'clock in the morning, waking your people up. And this is happening in Dearborn, Michigan, and perhaps in other places, and New York.
Very soon in New York.
Will not be, yes, right. So this is an intrusion into the peace and quiet. And it seems to me some people, particularly Muslims, they find it kind of a melodic and soothing and divine voice. To me, it seems to me a man is screaming from the top of his head, is highly constipated, and he needs to defecate. That is the way it sounds to me. It's horrible, it's bad. So yeah, it's a serious problem, and I am not quite sure how we reconcile the freedom of religion.
Ali, is he actually constipated? Because what's he saying at 5 in the morning? Like, get up, everybody, be productive. Time to go to work. Like, what is he really saying at 5 in the morning? Is he constipated, or is he encouraging people to be productive and creative and follow the law? What's he saying at 5 in the morning?
Well, I have no idea. There are certain words in Arabic I have no knowledge, but I think two things could be happening at the same time. He could be saying whatever he's saying. He also could be highly constipated. So there are not contradictions in this.
So we've talked a lot about honor killings and that being a negative aspect of Islam. Also, child marriages, that's a big no-no. And so I'm just wondering, what are the hadiths that deal with these sensitive topics that we view in the West as being unlawful practices.
Why it's even matter?
Because
Why
we're
it's even matter?
we're trying to understand who these people are, what they think, because they're gathering right now in a mosque.
You see, that's your biggest problem, that you're trying to understand. That's your biggest problem. Why are you trying to understand?
Because I want to know I want to know the words that they're operating off of. I want to hear it. I want to know what they're thinking.
No, I don't want to know nothing about what they're thinking. I have zero tolerance about that. And as soon as you're trying to dig into it, you're going to be shoved into it. Remember, like from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, I keep encouraging an Islamic constitution convention because if you study the Charter of Medina in 666, when Muhammad issued the proclamation against the Jews and said, "Fight with us and pay us or we'll kill you," that's all you need to know about Islam and Muhammad's constitution from the Charter of Medina. It's right there on Wikipedia. Just read it. If you're Jewish and you've never read the Charter of Medina, well, wake up, because these fuckers are not your friends. They will compel you into war. They will compel you into debt. They will rob you. They will kill you. It's right there in the Charter of Medina. Join us or die. That's their law. And it all comes down to Muhammad. He is the special and sole arbitrator of law. There's no Western Magna Carta. There's no judicial representation through juries. There's no legal code whatsoever. Muhammad is the adjudicator of your conflict. And the Quran and Allah. That's it. There's no legal system per se. Again, Mohammedism is a scam. It is a fraud. And Muhammad is a charlatan. It's a multi-level marketing scam that over 1 billion people to this day enjoy because they view themselves as being social justice virtue warriors. And the truth is, all their bullshit projection is their true feelings on the inside. Just listen to what they say. It's not pleasant.
Of course, because if you have a society that 32% of them are illiterate, they don't have where to gather information except from the imam in the mosque. So when they're going to the mosque, they're getting brainwashed, and you have nothing that you can do about it.
See, it's part intellectual. Like, they have an intelligence problem in the Muslim community, in the Islamic global community. They have an intelligence problem. They're low IQ. They haven't. They don't have a large language model to help them legally get past their own tyranny, because it really is piratism. Islamism is a response to the Christian kings of Europe. It is a revolution against Western Christian kings, and it's not pleasant, and it's invasive politically. That's the danger, is that we got a loophole in this country that allows Muslims to come here and become conquerors. And unfortunately, we also have a liberal intellectual problem in the United States of America, and it turns out they're even worse than a conservative Muslim. So, in many ways, Islam is engineered to defeat not only the liberal, but also the conservative. Islam is a theocracy, the unity of state and religion, and thus it's superior legally and philosophically because it's an all or nothing position. And they're compelled to do what Muhammad instructs them to do. So, Coco can give me the thumbs down, But until you can confirm that you've actually read the Charter of Medina, which I have from top to bottom, it's not that long. Look it up. It's on Wikipedia. You have to read the Charter of Medina. This is the Constitution of Islam. If you haven't read it, you're not in the know. And you don't know shit.
The statement, you just made the statement that theocracy is better than the system that we have in place in the United States. Do you really believe that? You would much rather live in a theocracy ran by Muslims rather than the United States? That's why I'm giving you thumbs down. So, like, what are you saying? Think about the words that are coming out of your mouth. You want to call me stupid. That's fucking crazy. You need to articulate yourself better.
Well, I'm sorry I'm not articulating. Maybe I can help ejaculate in your face and tell you the truth about Islam. Because if the Muslims and the Mohammedans take control, kiss your abortions goodbye, doctor. Because there will be no abortions in Islam, because it's murder. Say goodbye to abortions. Bye-bye. Roe vs. Wade. Ha, ha, ha. Say hello to Muhammad and Wade. Ladies, Islam will put an end to your murder industry. Bye-bye, mommy.
Not even the people that live in these or Islamic countries want to live under that kind of rulership. What are you talking about? Why, as an American, would I want that over our democracy republic that we have? Yeah, no. That's not superior at all.
I have to ask you a question, Coco.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with old men.
What'd you say?
Do you have a problem with old men?
No, I don't, but I have a problem with men who think they can talk to women any kind of way, subject them, disrespect them, and for myself as well. So yeah.
Well,
I
will totally agree with the way that he talked to you that you need to respond, but don't involve old men because I'm old and I never spoke to you like that.
Okay, fair enough. No offense to you.
So, maybe Coco asked you a question in terms of talking in kind of a more...
Oh, we have spoke before though, Shuki. But I wasn't able to have that conversation with you.
Did I ever disrespect you?
No, we've had a pretty pleasant relationship so far. So, again,
Okay,
sorry.
so you're talking about old men and I'm old and I'm proud of my age.
Yeah, no, that is something to be proud of. I think getting older is actually something that's beautiful, and everybody should.
Wow, you're so fucking ageist.
Amazing, Ali. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
You're so fucking ageist.
So what I wanted to do is, Coco, you talked about, let's talk about the concept, right? Yeah, and you mentioned that I hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, that he needs to be more specific. Well, let's just be more specific. I mean, on a very general level, in terms of their ideologies, I mean, I can just list a whole bunch of them for you. It's just, seeking the world domination, ideological-wise, dividing the world into two worlds, the Dar Salam, Islam, and Dar Haram, the two words of worlds. And the idea of a good Muslim is to conquer, the non-believers. And through the concept of the jihad, which is at the heart of Islamic ideology. And this jihad could be a personal jihad, struggle against not sinning, or the jihad against non-believers. And the Sharia laws, honor killings, the fatwas, this stupid, silly, childish idea that you put a price on someone's head who wrote a book in a faraway country in Europe. How horribly backward that is. But just to stay in the specific area of the Sharia law, let me just read you something. And these are, again, I'm not suggesting that all of these, the few things that I'm going to read is going to be practiced in its fullest, but certainly to a great degree. And I'm going to focus on in the areas of the women, the treatment of women within the legal system of Islam. And I can read chapter and verse of Quran. There we go. Number one, a woman or girl who who has been raped cannot testify in court against the rapist. Testimony: the 4 male witnesses are required to prove rape of a female. 24:13. Next, a woman or girl who alleges rape without producing 4 male witnesses is guilty of adultery. Next, a woman or girl found guilty of adultery is punishable by death. Next, a male convicted of rape can have his conviction dismissed by marrying his victim. A woman can have, and I'm going to stop here quickly because I can go on for hours here. A woman can have one husband who can have up to 4 wives. A husband can, and of course they can have as many temporary wives as they wish. Muhammad himself had, of course, set the example for that, had so many wives, and I'm not suggesting Muhammad was the inventor of having, more than wife, but certainly he practiced it to an extent that, marrying and having sex with a 9-year-old girl. Next one. A man can marry an infant girl and consummate the marriage when she is 9 years old. And I kid you not. Now, so this is, and these are the Sharia laws, a great portion of these things are in the constitution of Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran. That is a problem. So anyway, I'm just going back with this, and I'm going to go back to the very first comment came to this show. The problem is, the challenge is, the difficulty is that the lots of people in the West, in general, and in the U.S., you have a clue of the Islamic ideology. They have no understanding of it, and therefore you see people like Mandani, which I call Matt Dummy, being elected the mayor of New York, because people have no idea of the intention of people like him taking over our cities and trying to somehow smuggle in Islamic ideology in a kind of a benign form of, building as many mosques as they can, which legally they can, based on the First Amendment Establishment Clause, and also the prejudice. So this is kind of a soft invasion, intrusion into our societies, into our cultures, kind of diminishing our secular laws, and practicing these things within their enclave of their communities. And we need to oppose it, keep it at bay, and that I'm not quite sure, Coco, if this is what you had in mind or not, but I just wanted to put a little bit more flesh on what I had said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was my biggest opposition, is I don't think the Islamic system itself is superior to the United States. I have read some of these things before. I've read, different laws in different Islamic countries in the Middle East. I do have an awareness of the corruption, the moral bankruptcy. I don't agree with theocracies at all. That's a big thing for me, I've noticed. And especially those that, have like cult activities going on where women and children are being abused and, all this kind of stuff. I'm not a fan of it. And when you live under an Islamic system, especially as a woman or a child, your freedoms are restricted incredibly, especially if we compare that to the system we have in the West. I couldn't imagine living under that. I would never want to.
Yeah, and just my experience on the clubhouse with, my discussions with Muslims, and not just mostly argumentation and debates and back and forth kind of and I find not only they love their Sharia laws, and they also have this hatred for the Western culture, Western way of life, and a disdain, I would say. And some of them, actually shamelessly live in the United States. And so I have, came up with a term, and I don't think I've seen it around, so I take a little credit. coming up with this. I call them, they call a person like me probably Islamophobic, so I call them Westophobic. So somebody who has such a hatred, disdain, sentiment against the United States and European countries, there are Westophobic, and the kind of the sentiment is Westophobia, having Westophobia, and anyway, so. It's a problem. I really, hopefully, it's coming to whether we've been all deceived by the social media clips that I see all the time, why maybe this is not as much a problem as we think it is, or really is a problem. And when I say problem, I'm talking about really in a very broad sense, the clash of civilizations, the Western society, the culture against the Islamic ideology in the West. I mean, whatever they want to do in their own country, that's fine, although I do not like it because typically the women and the children get the short end of the stick in all of the Islamic, ideologies. Sorry about that.
Oh, Shuki, you have Jesus Palestinian here.
Palestinian.
Okay, Mr. Kaiki. Wait, it wasn't a kike.
Okay.
Okay.
Which
I thought that America is number one, not Israel.
which part of the aircraft you like? You like the business side?
I do believe that.
You like the business department or you like the economy?
I like, of course, to have my private jet.
Your private jet?
Yeah.
Okay. We have also that service. We have a private jet also.
Do you have?
At Shuki Airlines.
Do you have?
So على معك نكون مش الخواغك.
Abracadabra, he disappeared. I guess the business section was full.
Yeah. We just throw him out the window without a parachute.
Well, this way we're going to find out if he can fly.
Yeah.
Possible.
If he can go on water, if he can change water to wine, then why cannot fly?
Yeah.
He's the Son of God.
I think something about Jewish people, I can say that they were not stupid enough to, I can say that it's smart, or stupid enough to accept. I'll say it this way, they were smart enough not to reject both the first Messiah, presumably Jesus, and then to some extent, or by extension, Muhammad, reject them both. And it seems to me if there is such a thing as a divine or religious kind of way of thinking, the Jewish people are probably the best qualified to decide who is the Messiah once it comes. Certainly they have rejected the first one, Jesus, and the second one, Muhammad, which is a good thing.
You know one thing is for sure. When the Messiah is going to come, it's not living. It's coming to stay. Jesus came and ran away. And now Christians waiting for him to come again. Like it's a test drive. You fail once and you're coming for the next try. Doesn't work like that.
This second coming is a very common theme in all of the practices of both Abrahamic, Zoroastrian, and other spiritual kind of concept. There's the second coming of something to come. And that it kind of makes sense. There's a beginning, there's a middle story, how the end. So
I'm going to explain you in a very simple way why it doesn't make any sense, okay? Part of the job of the Messiah is to build the Holy Temple. When Jesus was alive, the temple was exist. So that's obvious that he wasn't Messiah.
okay, yeah, that's fine. Anyway, I'm Suki, I'm an atheist. I categorically do not believe in any kind of supernatural agencies whatsoever.
You know that atheism is also a religion, right?
Let me just say this. All I'm just trying to do to give credit, if I just put a Jewish hat on for a moment, but they were smart enough to reject both of those lands. That's a good thing. That's all I can say. And apart from that, all of this stuff is man-made, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And I have, kind of just the way it is. So either way, there's no Messiah coming from anywhere. Either from
Do you
Jewish
believe
people,
in
for the
archaeology?
Christians, for the Muslims, none of that stuff.
Do you believe in archaeology?
Do I believe? It's not a believing in archaeology. There is enough evidence that we know archaeology is a thing, and its goal is to discover, look at the relic and information about the past.
When he says, do you believe archaeology, he means, do you trust archaeology?
Oh, you like? Oh, okay, that's the part. Yeah,
that's what he meant.
Yeah, sure. And I putting aside some of the kind of false lies or misunderstanding, misinterpretation in general, it's the thing that it has worked. It has told us a lot about our past. Yeah, I do trust it.
Okay, so archaeology telling us that what is written in the Torah is actually stuff that happened. Now, part of the archaeology, they found the Torah scroll that's 3,300 years old.
It doesn't matter how many books, writings, things you find. That does not necessarily extend to say the supernatural agency of God exists. I mean, these types of documents are all over the place. You can go to other cultures, Zoroastrian. They've got, their books. They've got their prophets. They've got the end of time. They got the Messiah. So just finding something does not necessarily says that a Messiah for Jewish people is coming, or God exists. I mean, there's no correlation does not imply causation.
So how do you explain the split of the sea in Exodus? Because they found wagons and carriages in the middle of the Red Sea. How do you explain that?
Sunken ships.
It's not cheap.
Sunken whatever.
It's got to the middle of the sea.
I cannot speak unless I read see it for myself. I have no reason to believe that you're not telling me the truth. Well, for the claim like
no, it's archaeology that's telling you.
Yeah, great. I just have to look it up and see what the deal is. And I certainly the four frauds, actually I have five of them, in religion are prophecies, miracles, mystery, revelation. And I've added the fifth one to it, claim to scientific knowledge. Those are the five fields of religions, all of them, in Abrahamic religions. So, and the reason how can I say that? I like Jewish way of thinking, because I like the thinking is you're a skeptic. When I ask them a question, they always have two or three potential answers and really not knowing exactly where the argument is going to go. I like that openness. They encourage ideas and discussions against their own way of thinking. That's really good.
You believe in scientists?
Do I believe in scientists?
Do you believe in trust? Yeah, he means trust.
Oh, you're talking scientific process.
He's wanting to say, do you trust science?
Do I trust? It's not a. I trust. Well, it works. I mean, if something that works, it seems to me is trustworthy.
Because lately, science discovered that the Hebrew calendar, which came from the Torah, is actually the most accurate calendar.
Okay, we're talking past each other. You can tell me about any archaeological discovery, scientific findings related to the Jewish or any other faith. That does not necessarily take me to any kind of a supernatural agency. It does not take me to Messiah. Does not take me to hell, heaven, and God. I mean,
if you read,
if you are just like, if you're trying to argue
a report of something.
Okay, if you're trying to argue with me,
I'm not.
Let me just land it there.
I'm not arguing.
Shuki, you said the report of what? If you're trying to say a Jewish tradition of culture and spirituality has existed for over 3,000 years, yes, of course. And they've been incredible existence. And look where they come from and the opposition, the rest of it. I mean, I don't disagree with you on that. What we disagree, where we diverge, is you're trying to show me archaeological findings and scientific findings, and then from there, taking me to God and the rest of it. That's where we disconnect.
So the thing that I'm trying to show you, that's why I'm jumping from one thing to another. So it's going to make sense to you what I'm trying to say. If archaeology proving what it's reading in the Torah, and science proving what it's reading in the Torah, it's like when you read the report, you're having a lot of numbers or whatever that you read in the report that lead you to a conclusion. What I'm saying that if everything showing me what's reading in the Torah, so the part that's reading about Messiah in the Torah, it's also implying. You understand where I'm trying to get it? To take it?
No, I really don't understand. I think your argument is really non-secular. You're trying to, again, I'm saying this, if you are trying to tell me that Judaism is a sin, archaeology has shown the findings that Jewish people have been around for a long time, and find about something about the culture, the theology, and the rest of it. I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm trying to tell you, you're trying to push me forward towards something that it really takes us to the idea of God, hell, and heaven, and the rest of it. And that's where I'm not willing to go. From that perspective, your argument, and you did not say that, but I have this intimation you'd like to go there. From that perspective, I think your argument is non-secular. That's all. It just, one does not necessarily, and whatever you find, just because something has been true in the past, it doesn't mean a Messiah will come. I mean, there's no evidence for that. I mean, just there's something there. But there are evidence for other things that you mentioned. I accept those.
Well, I respect you for what you think, but I think completely different from you.
Yeah, that's fine. Perfectly fine. Yeah, that's that's the nature of phenomenon. That's fine. That's not a problem. What another thing I like about Judaism, as much as I could like any religion, it's just they do not proselytize. I have never in my entire life have heard a Jew in any shape or form trying to promote Judaism and tell me I have to convert or I have to look at it and consider it. I've never seen that. Never heard of it. So that is something I appreciate and contrast that with the Christian, which metaphorically, every time the phone rings, the door bell rings, and somebody's trying to tell you to convert because that is their duty to do it. And Muslims do it to some extent. probably even a lot more now because of the social media. So yeah, we could disagree, and that's perfectly fine. But you're not bothering me. That's the point. And the Christians and the Muslims, they bother me in the sense of trying to impose on me their culture, not culture, their kind of spiritual way of life and their teachings, and I just don't accept it.
Okay. Harry, tirami po.
So, Suki, before I go, I wanted to make one comment, and it is a stunning, and I think any Jewish people should be pounding on their chest and regardless of this. We've got 17 million people, Jewish people, and contrast that with, 8.4 billion people on the face of the earth. This group of people, the Jewish people, their accomplishments is stunning in all domains of human activity. Science, philosophy, mathematics, commerce, money, banking, and the rest of it. And 25%, roughly about 25% of all of the Nobel Prize laureates are Jewish. That is stunning. That is something that we should make any group of people very proud of their contribution to the totality of the humans, Homo sapiens, and the global, as a global community as a whole. Nothing more I have to say in terms of kind of the demonstration of the Jewish people contribution to the
So what is the common sense?
I forgot even to say the medicine aspect of it. There's just all domains of human activity. It is really serious. I mean, truly, it's stunning. Anyway, Suki, it was really nice talking with you. I'm going to run and do some other things. I appreciate it.
Okay, enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Shuki, I sent you some messages like a half hour ago in your back channel. Hi, JLo.
Why I don't see that?
I don't know. That's weird. Let me see. Hold on. That's weird. There. Yeah.
Okay.
There's like 4 I sent you because I was just thinking and writing and sending, whatever. What's up?
They might have changed the app. You might have to show them how to find his messages. Did you find them?
What second?
Did you find your messages?
Hold on a second. Give me a second because I'm reading it. I'm not good on multitasking. 1 second. Especially when I'm reading in English.
Hit her profile and then messages. So go to her profile and then hit message.
1 second. I got the message. That's...
Yeah, sorry, I was getting out of the house. I don't into the store really quick.
Okay.
I was all frustrated. I couldn't speak to you. Rich wouldn't let me get any leeway.
Okay.
This guy is like monopolizing the conversation against me.
I don't know how he could pull his stone. I'm so.
I don't know how he's raising kids. With that maturity level, really?
Well, that's his wife, probably.